Alright, hello everyone. My name is Ryan. I'm with SkySlope. I'm going to show you how to use the agent portion of the system today. First thing I'm going to do is log in. You can go to kwlogin.com or go to the SkySlope homepage and click on Login, and that will take you to this screen right here. You're going to be logging into the system with your email address and your password. Your password will be sent to you by your brokerage. When you log in, you can see a welcome to SkySlope message. Click on the OK button to create your profile. That's going to allow you to add your alternate email, set up your notifications, add a signature to your account, and then change your password. I'm going to go ahead and skip that. It's pretty self-explanatory, so we'll skip that for now. Come back to it later on. In the top right corner, the first thing I'm going to show you is support. That's the number one thing to remember in our system is how to contact our support team. So we have live 24/7 support located in Sacramento, California, so it's always available at your fingertips. So here in the top right corner, I'm going to click on that support button. What it's going to do is it's going to load our support portal. So right here you have a lot of different ways to get help. We have all sorts of tutorial videos, a manual that you can print out if you're interested. Most fastest and best way to get in contact with us is this live chat feature right here. So you want to click on live chat. Then you want to type in your login email address. We'll just say ryan@kwrealty.com. Then you want to type in your question right here. I have a question. And then click on chat with us in the bottom right. You see we also have an email us button. Keep in mind we have to respond to emails in the order that they're received. So if there's a long email list, you're going to have to wait until all those emails get answered first. So I always recommend the live chat as being the fastest way. So when you click on this, it's going to go into our support queue. They answer them as well in the order that they're received. They can chat with up to 4 at a time. We have anywhere from 5 to 17 on at a given time. You can see there how fast our response rate is. There's Kais. Now I can go ahead and type in a question to him and he'll be able to get back to me. He can also send me a link. If I click on the link, it'll download a screen share program. When you click on run or save, it'll open up the program and he can actually see your computer screen, see what you're working on, and see if you need any updates on your computer. At the bottom left, you can click on call me. You type in your phone number and it dials our support line, and that way you just have to answer the phone and you'll be connected to a support rep. So that's going to be the fastest way to call us as well. Even if you just want to jump on the phone, I recommend live chatting first. So let's go ahead and exit this chat here. That's how it works. You always want to use live chat right away. Don't think about something for more than 30 seconds. Just go right to them. They've seen every problem and seen every question. So just ask them right away. They'll refresh your memory on anything. Here are the video tutorials. You can check those out there, and then our manual is there as well. Here's our feature suggestions area. You can submit new ideas here. You can vote on other ideas. Our product team constantly is reviewing this area to see new ideas and new features that are being suggested by our users. We do releases every month or so and a large release every quarter. So you can see what's coming out in this area as well as submit new ideas. So that's support, top right corner, very, very important there. The next thing here you see is our home page where we have 10 simple buttons. So we have 10 buttons right here. It's laid out like an iPad, so it's very easy. There's squares. One thing to keep in mind here is you may want to adjust your zoom. So you may want to zoom in or out depending on what device you're on, depending on what zoom your natural settings are. To do that, you can hold control on your keyboard and the plus and minus buttons will zoom you in and out. So you can see like that, I can zoom out or zoom in. So I like to be zoomed in a little bit so these buttons are a little bit bigger for me to see. The order of our training today will be to start at create listing, go counterclockwise, and end up at our digital signature. So this will be the last thing we cover in here. We have an integrated digital signature into the platform. So I'll show you how that works. We're going to go ahead and start with create listing though. I'm going to click on this button right here. So right when you get a listing, you get it signed by your seller. You're going to log into SkySlope and click on the create listing button to start creating your file. So we're just creating a folder now in which we will begin submitting our documents. So on here, I'm just going to start filling out the red fields. Those are the most important and required to get us to the next page. So in here, let's just say I'm going to type in 333 as the street number, and the street name we can just say, Sunnyvale Way. The zip code, you want to type that in first, so it'll auto-populate the state, city, and county. So I'll type in 93301. Tabbing over will auto-populate that state, city, and county fields for you. The type here, we're going to go ahead and choose resale. If you have a co-listing agent, you can click the add button to add them in here. If you have a list price, you can type that in here. Let's just say $5 million. And then your built, we can say maybe 2,000. The source, you can go ahead and choose what the source of your listing was. Let's say it was a previous customer. And then we have the commission percentages. We'll say 3% and 3%. These fields work as flat amount fields, so you can always type in a flat amount into these fields. The list date right here, you can go ahead and type in or select from the calendar rather. Let's say it was on Friday. And right here we have an expiration date. I can go ahead and use this calendar feature to click the arrow and choose February of 2014. Any additional notes or information about your commission or anything that's not available in the fields here, you just want to type in this note box here. Any information at all, you can type here. Referring agent, click the add button here to add them in, etc. Those are just the mandatory fields. Then we'll go ahead and click on next. On the contacts page, you can see here we have seller. We have first and last name is required here. I can go ahead and just start typing those in and clicking save. Or you can use the email address to auto-populate a contact. So if you've worked with a seller or an investor or a title company or another contact in the system more than once, we will save that via the email address. So make sure you do type in an email. That's how our system knows to save it. So for example, let's type the letter J. You can drop down and see that I've got a John in here. If I click on that, it'll paste in all of his information based on the last time that we worked together. Of course, I can go in here and I could update it if I'd like to. Once you're done, you're going to click on the blue save button right here. You can see it'll gray that out and save that information. Right here I can click add new if I want to add multiple sellers. You can keep clicking this button to add more boxes down here to type in more contacts. At the left side you have a home warranty button. You can click on that and enter the home warranty. Once you're done, click on the red submit button. So to save changes in the system, always make sure you click a next or a save button. That will save your previous page. So now that I've finished and got to the checklist, my contacts and my listing pages are saved, so I can always go back and review those and edit any data needed. Next you see that we have a checklist. It's color-coded so we can see what's required. The red will always be the urgent items that we need to upload and turn into the checklist for review. There are several different ways to get your documents turned into the system. One way is email. So if you work with a client that maybe had all the documents on paper, they signed them all and scanned them to you, you can actually just take that email and forward it to this property email address. You can see in this case it is the street name followed by the street number at skyslope.com. You always want to make sure and double check this email just in case you made any typos, just in case there was a duplicate property, maybe you relisted this after a couple months or a couple years, because our system will automatically pick up on any duplications of street names and street numbers in the system, and it'll automatically add a digit to it. So do keep in mind that this email here is auto-generated, and you always want to highlight it and copy it so you don't make any mistakes on that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my email. Now I know everyone has their own specific email that they use. In this case I happen to use a Gmail. So here I can see from John here, I've got a listing package for our property here, and it's attached. You don't have to print it and separate it. You're just going to take the whole package and you're going to take the email and you're going to forward it to that property email address like this. Paste and send. So from any smartphone or iPad, any device at all, you're going to just take emails that you get from other people that have attachments and forward them into the system. This is also very important when emailing a client with any information at all too. So if I just want to email my client, I'm going to add CC here, and I'm going to paste in the SkySlope email like that, because SkySlope will also remember any emails that you send to that email address and save it as correspondence. So if you normally save all of your emails in Outlook and folders, or print them out, or save them as PDFs, all you have to do is remember to CC the SkySlope email address for your property, and it will save a copy of that email in your log. So back to SkySlope, I just took the email and forwarded it to my document section, so that's where all attachments go. A copy of the email will also be saved in my log section. So that's two different areas that it'll be saved in now. That was one way to get our documents in. Another way is you can fax directly into the system as well. So if you have documents all on paper or a client that prefers to fax, what you need is a fax cover. This will tell the documents where to go. So if I click on fax cover, you can type in a file name. You can really name this whatever you'd like to. Click save. Creates a PDF. We're going to click to open it. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is a fax cover sheet. If you print this out, it is specific to your property file. So if you print this out and place it on top of your documents, you can fax to the number that appears here at the top. This number is always the same. What's different for each cover sheet is the file name, so I called it listing docs, and the barcodes. The barcodes will tell the fax where to go. So if you print this out, place it on top of your documents, fax to the number on there, it will appear here in your document section. The document section here is where all of your documents will be saved. So you can imagine this will be a long list at some point. You do want to make sure that any documents loaded in here, you can see this one wasn't named, the document named, it was just called a package. That's because my client named it. So if you ever have documents that you're just uploading here, do make sure that you label them in a way that's easy for you to find and also has the prefix and the CAR abbreviation on them. That way it's easy to find and you can quickly attach to the checklist. Right here you can see that package. That is the one that I emailed in. If I had faxed one in, it would also appear in this area here. So that's two ways now we've talked about getting documents in. A third way is you have an upload button right here. This is a way that I can just take documents right from my desktop and upload them into the file. So I can upload pictures, I can upload Excel sheets, Word docs, whatever I'd like to. Let's just click on upload. And right here, you can go to your desktop and I can scroll down. Let me find my sample docs. From here I can take any of these documents and upload them right into the file. You can take as many as you want and upload them all at once. Click on Start Upload. Click OK. And now those documents are into the system. Next thing is our split tool. So you can see here we have a package that our client sent, or maybe it was the agent that sent me all the disclosures. I want to separate those out so I can place them onto my checklist. At the right side you have a split button, so make sure you aren't scanning these one by one or doing them one at a time. This is going to allow me to very quickly split all the documents and place them right onto my checklist. So when you click the split button, notice it opens a document here at the right, so that way I can see what each document's named. And here at the left, I'm going to be able to name the file and separate the documents from page from and page to. So right here you have a listing agreement. So right here, I'm going to type in the letter L. Notice it drops down with a list of items on my checklist that have the letter L in it. So if I want to narrow this down, I can add some more letters like this. And there's my listing agreement with seller advisory. Click that. And it's going to add the name to it like that. Next, I can scroll through here just to make sure that I get the pages correct. So I'm going to include the listing agreement with the seller advisory, and that's the first 7 pages. So here I'm going to make sure it's a 1, and then here I'm going to make sure it's a 7, like that. Next we have the agency disclosure. It's a 1-page form. I can type in the agency like this, click on it, and I can go 8 to 8, since it's a 1-page document. And that's all I have left to split on here as an example. Next you want to click on this blue split and assign button. If I just click the gray split button, it's just going to separate the forms, but these are executed documents that I want to get reviewed. So I'm going to actually assign them to the checklist as well. So I'm going to click on the blue split and assign. Here at the top it says nice job. You have attached, you've split 2 documents and assigned them to the checklist. So I'll click on OK. And notice the screen takes me right to the checklist where now my agency, AD, is in review. And my listing agreement with the seller advisor is also in review. So that's how you can split documents and automatically place them onto the checklist. Again, keep in mind that everything is color coded on here, so you can see that once it's attached, you can check it via the paperclip, and it will go to this orangish in review color. Continue on, we still have 2 more requirements that we want to get turned in. There are 2 more ways to get documents attached here. So I can click attach right here next to the DA. Attach. And because I've already added it into my document section during that multiple upload phase, you can see that it's right here. If you ever get lost, or for example you get a phone call right now and you have to walk away and you're trying to remember what document you need to attach, you can always see right here in bold what I'm looking for. So now I'm going to look through my document list. There's my DA, and I'll click the assign button, and that will attach to the checklist. The last one here is my MLS printout. Now this document's just sitting on my desktop. I want to attach it right to the checklist. That way I don't have to load it to the document section and then attach it. And I also don't need to split it since it's only a one-page form. So I'm just going to upload it directly to the checklist. And this is our fourth and final way to get a document uploaded into the system. So right here it's required, and I'm going to click the attach button. And then I'm going to click on Browse File right here. Takes me into my computer where there's my MLS printout. And I'll open it. And then always make sure you click on the Start Upload button. So once you get a document loaded in here, it's not enough to make sure to just leave now and exit, turn your computer off. You want to make sure you always click Start Upload. And that's going to confirm and also lock that document into the system. So now I've uploaded and attached it right there, and you can see it's now in review. All of our red items are gone, and we have now finished our stage 1 review process. So a great way to email compliance and to have this checklist reviewed is to go to the document section. Here to the right side, you have an email button. So this is a great way to email out of the system. You click email right here. I can also attach as many documents as I'd like right here. So you can see if I want to include certain documents, I can check the boxes and attach those. And that will add them to the email for me. Up here, I have a to field. I'm going to go ahead and type in an email address. I'm going to use sample emails for this, and just to show you how it works. Let's just say that I want to email compliance, kw.com. Maybe I want to include MCA department as well. You want to use a semicolon, and then hit the space bar, and then type in, let's just say mca@kw.com. And these are example emails. So like that, it's going to go to both of these contacts by using the semicolon and then a space like that. Right here, you want to click on, sorry about that. Right here, you want to also click in the subject bar and type in what review stage you're in. So let's just say first review. And that will keep in the subject line that first review. Here you can type in some comments or notes, whatever you'd like to, and then click on send. And that will email directly from the system. The next thing I'm going to cover is the log section right here. The log is your digital footprint. Everything that you do in the file is tracked in the log section. From the time and date you created the listing to when you've added your contacts in. All the emails that you're CCing into the system will be stored here. That way you don't have to save them on your own. They'll all be stored in the log section. You have time and dates documents were added, and even when you emailed out of the system. So everything is tracked here in the log section. When your file is reviewed, you will see notes and comments in here as well, and see who actually reviewed your file. But how you're going to know your file is reviewed will be your checklist. The checklist here, keep in mind, is color-coded. So when we're looking at this section here, each item is going to be reviewed by compliance via this paperclip. If everything is approved, the item will turn green and go to completed. If something is missing, it'll turn purple and it'll say incomplete, and there'll be a comment in the box here. So you'll actually see exactly what's missing on your checklist. It'll all be color coded. If you ever have questions on any of these items, you can leave comments in here as well. So if you ever wonder if I need to get a document signed by my seller, you can always type in the notes here, question for compliance, and then you can click on the save. So do make sure you click on save. We always want to save our changes in the system. Click on save. And you can see it will lock that note in. When compliance sees this question, they'll be able to respond back on the checklist. And you can always click the little blue arrow to see all the notes back and forth. The correspondence regarding the items on the checklist will be done via email. So you're going to get an email back from compliance showing you exactly what's missing and what's completed on your file. So pulling up my email, here's an email on my file. You can see here I've completed 2 documents, and I'm missing a signature on the listing agreement, for example. We also see we've completed 2 other documents. So everything is color-coded to see what's there and what's missing on our file. You can always click the hyperlink right here. It'll take you to our login screen. You can log in and correct any changes or missing items on this checklist. I'm going to click on the logo, and that's going to take me back to the home screen. So just a quick recap, we created a listing, we uploaded documents, we split some, and others we just attached right to the checklist. Those are the most important things. We also covered how to get documents into the system, as well as our email and tracking log. The next button that we have here is Manage Listings. You can click this button here. And what this shows is all of your current active listings. Everything you have active as a listing right now will be here. When you're ready to go into a contract with one of these listings and you have an offer and you accept the offer, you're going to be able to single click on it once, so it'll highlight blue, and then click the Accepted Contract button. Do make sure that you've uploaded your Stage 1 first review documents prior to doing this, or else the system will not allow you to continue. So click it once, highlight it blue, click on Accepted Contract. It'll take the listing, convert it to a transaction. If you need to withdraw this listing, the same thing applies. Just click there once and then click on Withdraw Listing. And that was our Manage Listings button. Next, we have Create Transaction. This is if you're representing a buyer and you have an executed offer. You're going to click on Create Transaction. You have an accepted offer. And you're going to start filling out the information here as well. Here you have your name, which already automatically fills. The checklist type here, you're going to click here and you're going to choose from one of these options. So we can go ahead and choose, let's just say we're going to choose residential 1 to 4. Then we're going to type in an MLS number, a year built, a street number, we'll just say 456, and a street name, we'll just say, let's say Q Street, and a zip code, we'll type in the same one as before to auto-populate state, city, and county. The type here is important. This will tell compliance what side of the file you represent. Are you the buyer's agent, the seller's agent? Are you double ending, or is it a referral? This side we're representing the buyer, so we're going to click on sale. Class is a property. The source is where we got the business. Let's just say it was a personal referral. Office lead, no. The closing date, click here, and let's just set it for 30 days. And the acceptance was today. Sale price, we'll just say $5 million again, and then you click on the next button. So all we're doing is filling out data, clicking next. Right here is our seller contact. Again, we represent a buyer, so I'm just going to see what name is on the contract, and I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. We'll just say this is Sally Seller. Save, that's in blue, and then we'll click next right here. Then we have the buyer. Remember, we auto-populate the emails, or I can just type it in here as well. It's up to you. I recommend typing an email address. It just saves you some time later on. Click Save, then click Next. Here we have the title company, the escrow company, and an attorney. Only one of the three here is required, so don't worry about filling all of them out. I know it looks like a lot of red information. You can see at the top as a reminder, at minimum, one of the three below is required to get to the next page. So just worry about typing one of these in. You can go ahead and you can type in a contact. If you've worked with a title company before, a specific rep, you can click on the email and it will auto-populate all of the information like that. Then in here you can type in the name, click on Save, then Next. Agent representing the other side, you can go ahead and type that information in here, or you can use the auto-populate feature. It's up to you. We'll just say this is Agent Allen, and I'll type in the phone number and what company he's with. Let's just say Keller Williams. Click Save. You have lender and home warranty. You can fill those out now if you have them, or you can come back and fill them out later. When you're done, click on the red Submit button, and that will take you to the commission page, where here again you have one red field that's required that's not filled out. We'll just say 3%. And then you have other fields that are if applicable. So if you want to, you can fill out these fields here. If you're a referring agent, make sure you add them in using the Add button. Any additional changes in your commission or donations you're making, maybe you're paying for the home warranty, you can type those in down here as deductions. And then click on Next right here at the right side. This is the Property tab. So this is very similar to what you've already done on MLS. So this page is not required. It is your preference. If you'd like to type in information about the property, you can. Otherwise, just click on Submit, and that's going to create now your transaction. So what you'll notice is that we've got a checklist again, where we have our second review here at the top, and you can keep scrolling through here to see that we've got third review, fourth review, And then all the way to the bottom, we've got our 5th and 6th review right here, our post-closing. So this is what our checklist looks like. Keep in mind, some of these requirements can change depending on the type of file. For example, the lead-based paint right here. If this was built before 1978, you may see that this item could turn red. So compliance can turn items red or off, to, if applicable, back and forth. The same concepts would occur here. We'd be getting our documents, no matter how we had them in paper form, digital signature, emailed, or faxed, and getting them into our document section, managing them, splitting them if need to, then attaching them to our checklist. Then you can also email out of the document section to get to the next review stage. You can see here we have an email address. It populates based off the street name and street number that we can send all of our documents to and all of our correspondence. As a quick feature right here, you do have a transaction summary available. You can click this. What this is a cheat sheet for you. So if you've typed in all that information, you could download and print out our transaction summary like this. And this just shows you at a quick glance all of the information required, or not required, but you've entered in on your deal. So you can see all the different contacts and data that we've entered in. That way I have it as a quick sheet of paper if I need it. The document section is exactly the same. The log is also the same as the listing side. I'll go ahead and click the home button. Remember, you click home here, or you can click the logo here at the top left, and that will take you back to your home screen. Next is pending transactions. Here you can see that we've got that Q Street property. I can click on this and cancel it if I need to. Double clicking will open it as well. You can see I can also create a transaction from here. Incomplete checklist right here is just a quick to-do list. So I can see all the properties that I'm working on. I can see when they close. And I can see how many documents are still required. So I have 29 incomplete items on my checklist. Hopefully I see this start going down to 0 as this number, 14th of November gets closer. Just a way to manage your files. Canceled contracts, when I click here, this just shows all of the transactions and listings that you've canceled or withdrawn in the system. They are stored here so that you can always go back and review the documents, email out, look at all the log notes, etc. So they're all saved here. A double click will open it up. The archives. This is just a storage bin, so all of your closed files will be stored here. It's kind of like saving your documents in a box in your garage. It's just stored here so you can always go back and find it. Just double click to open it up. You can also download the entire file and burn it to a disk from there as well. So if you're interested, you can click download documents. It'll download the entire file. You can delete what you don't want in the file and then burn it to a CD. The reminders section. This is just a quick tool that you can use. I can click on new reminder right here. And what I can do here is I can set up email alerts to remind myself or another party on certain days and times. I always recommend reminding yourself. That way you're not sending off blind emails to other people and you forget that you set these up. And I'll also remind someone else. Let's say I want to remind the agent on the other side. Well, I want to remind him in 14 days, 2 weeks. And I want him to think that I'm the busier agent, so I'm going to email him at, let's say, 3:45 in the morning. I can choose from a list of my properties by typing in some information. I'll say we want to remind him on Q Street. That way it saves in our log section. And then I can type in a message. So I'm just reminding him that contingencies are going to be removed in 3 days, just as a quick update. And I'll click Save and OK. If for any reason I want to cancel this reminder, it's very easy. You're just going to click on the Done button right here and Done, and that will cancel those reminders. But that's a great way to set up emails to go out from the system, and you don't have to think about them. They just automatically fire out at those days and times. Next, we have working documents. You can click on here. This will allow you to upload whatever you'd like. So you can upload any documents you want. You can see here we've got a document. Notice that if I preview it, I have different options up here. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, or go to the next page. Over here at the right side, if you ever want to look at this document in a bigger view, you can click on this, and it'll open up the document in a much bigger view so that you can make sure all the signatures are there and everything's filled out correctly. Otherwise, our working document section is just a place that you can store any documents you want. It is private to you as an agent, so you can upload anything you want in here. It's unlimited storage. You can split documents in here, and you can also rotate them. So if you have a document and perhaps it's sideways, it was sent to you upside down, you can upload it here, rotate it so it's facing the right way. Once you create a listing or transaction, you can actually assign that document into that file as well. So you don't have to download it and re-upload it. You just assign it into that property file and it moves right over there. The last thing we're going to cover is our digital signature. You can click on this button right here, and this will take you through how to send a document out via digital signature. I'm going to click on the new button right here to get started. DigiSign is very easy to use. The goal of it is to get documents sent out and signed all in one system. So what's nice is if you send any documents out of DigiSign, they'll automatically return back into your SkySlope. You just tell it where to go. So here, for example, I have step 1, which is choose a property. I have all the properties that you saw me working on earlier in here. I can also use this giant yellow button. I can continue without a property. So if I perhaps didn't get an accepted offer yet and I just have my client signing offers, I can continue without one. That way I don't have to have a property file. If you choose this button here, all documents will return to your working document section and save there as well. Let's just start with this. Sunnyvale, that's the property that we were working on. That was the listing. Let's say I missed a signature on the listing agreement and I want to send that out to a client. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the select button here. Here it loads in step 2, which is entering a message. I can go and type in the body of the email, and I can type in here, let's say, missed signature, please sign. Then click the yellow continue. Here are all of my documents. So I can go ahead and down here and I can select documents from that property file. I can also choose file and upload a new document. So let's just go ahead and find that listing agreement right here. Check the box and click upload. This choose file button will take you right to your desktop hard drive. So if you filled out a bunch of forms and you want to get a client to sign them, you would just save it to your computer and then click choose file and upload those documents. Continue. Here on this stage, do type in an email address. So the client must have an email here in order to receive an email. So we're going to go ahead and type in my email here for training purposes. When you tab, notice it populates my name because I've done this before. However, you can always just type in the name as well. This blue button here will allow you to add additional recipients. So you can add second, third, fourth, fifth signers and so on. And you can just click this to open up a new spot to start typing in their information. Right here you have signer and certified delivery. So I can also designate someone as a CD on the file. It's kind of like the CC option. So I can make them just get a copy of the completed document rather than having to sign it. Continue. Here's step 5, our drag and drop portion. So here I have a sample listing agreement. And let's say I missed the signature. I'm going to scroll down. And let's just say I missed this signature right here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight and drag a signature block right there. And then also a date next to it as well. So let's say a date signed right there. You also have other options like small, medium, and large. So I can have selected a small signature. Optional signature. So if you want to give them the option to sign or decline, you can do that. Same with initial. You also have writable data, so you can type in information on the document. Read only, so that your client can't edit it. And then checkboxes and radio buttons. Once you're finished with this stage, click continue. And then go ahead and send it out. So now I've sent this document out. I see here I can save this as a template. So if you use a listing package more than once or a document signature more than once, you could save it as a template. That way next time you don't have to drag and drop onto the document. All you need to do is fill it out and upload it. So it'll save you a tremendous amount of time getting all your templates set. That way you can just apply it and send it out very quickly. Clicking the member console will take me back to my DigiSign home, where you can see at the left side I've got sent items and an inbox. Sent items is where you can manage all the documents you've sent out for signing. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to sign this document. So here is the email. This is what your client would see. So this is what your signer would see in this case. Populated to the subject because I typed that in there. And then here I typed in Miss Signature, please sign. I just happened to type that in. Your client, when they go to sign it, is going to click on the Start Now button. That's going to take me into the few steps I need to get into the process. Right here I have a consumer disclosure I can agree to. I can also modify my signature and just change the font of that signature, or I can add my middle initial or change my name. Let's go and agree to the terms and agree to the terms that this is a legal and binding electronic signature, and then I will click on Adopt. That's going to take me into the listing, and I'm going to click on Start right here. And it's going to take me all the way down to that page 5 where I added that signature block, and I'll click there to sign. And then once I'm done, I will click on Complete right here. So the client must sign all of the mandatory blocks in order to submit this to you. So you will not get half completed documents back, and they will all be sent to you completed and fully signed. And what's more is it will actually automatically upload back into your listing file. That way you can just go ahead and attach it to the checklist. A copy of the document will also be saved in your inbox as well. So you can go in there and you can review any completed documents from this section right here. So just as a recap, remember we created a file, we uploaded the documents, put them on the checklist. That is the most important thing to remember. We also went through DigiSign just now, and we talked a lot about support as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the presentation, and do you have any questions?
What happens if one of my files runs longer than I expected and it's showing that it's expired? How do I fix that?
Absolutely. So I'm going to go through how to fix an expired listing or transaction. So here we're back at the home screen. And if I click on Manage Listings, what you'll notice is that some properties, they're all actually active. So let me go ahead and make one expire to show you what that status looks like. So we're going to say that this actually expired yesterday. So when you go back into your listings, you're going to see that it's going to be in red. It's going to say expired, like that. So now SkySlope doesn't do anything with this file. We don't delete it, we don't deactivate it, or lose your access. Once something goes expired, that's an indicator to you that you might want to extend this listing, or now we're out of contract on here. So what you want to do is you want to upload any extension paperwork that you normally would get signed and uploaded or turned in. And then when you open up the property, you can change the date just the way that I showed you to make it expired. You can go ahead and click here and you can extend the date out. Click on Next. Always click Next, and that will extend the date.
And that works the same way on sales also?
Correct. That works the exact same way on a transaction as well. You just go ahead and change the closing date the same way I just showed you right here. Closing date, extend it, and click Next, and that will extend the closing date.
Now, you also said that I have a listing and I have to have all of the documents in and approved before I can go to make it into a transaction?
On the listing side, let me show you the checklist once more. If I'm looking at this list here, this will allow the system will allow me to continue. So the documents don't need to be approved necessarily, they just need to be uploaded to the checklist. So I cannot have any red items on this list. Essentially what that's saying is you can't have a contract on a listing if you don't have a listing agreement turned into the system. So we make sure that the documents are uploaded to the checklist before you can convert it to a sale. Now, compliance may not get a chance to get that to that review portion yet, so we still allow you to continue as long as you have the documents uploaded. So once they're uploaded, you can convert it to a sale.
Now, if you said that if I have a listing, I can convert it to a contract, where does all those listing tasks, where do they show up in the contract?
So when you take a listing and you click this accepted contract button, it's going to take you through the very same process that we went through when we created a transaction file. I'm going to fill out the contacts page, the commission, I have the choice to fill out the property tab, and then I'm going to get to a checklist. On the checklist, I'll see my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth reviews. Right below that, you also see your first review, your listing documents. So essentially, SkySlope will take your sales transaction checklist and stack it on top of your listing checklist. That way you can still review the listing requirements and add more to the listing side if you need to while you're in the transaction.
So once I've converted to a transaction, I'm going to get to this file by going to transactions, not listings anymore?
Correct. So when you take a listing and convert it to a transaction, it's going to appear in your pending transactions area. Everything in escrow will be in pending transactions. Managed listings are only your active current listing files with no accepted offers. Everything else will be in your pending transactions area.
Okay, very good, Ryan. Thank you very much. Can you go over one more time the support and how your support system works? Because that seems pretty important.
Absolutely. Here in the top right corner is your support button. You can also access us via support.skyslope.com in case you're having trouble logging in to get to this button. You can always do that. You can also email us at support@skyslope.com. But the fastest way is if you're in the system right here, you just want to click on this support button here at the top right. And again, that will take you right here to this page. And the fastest way, and that's why it's the biggest button here, is this live chat. You click that, you type in your login email address, and then you click on chat with us. That goes right into our support queue. Remember, this is 24/7. It's all in-house. We're in California as well, so you can always chat with a real expert. They're familiar with California real estate, and they'll be able to help you with any questions you have. So don't get frustrated. Don't spend a lot of time looking for answers on here. Just go straight to chat, even if it's late at night, anytime on the weekend, and they're going to be able to help you out very, very quickly. They're very tech savvy. They can see your computer screens, take control of your mouse if they need to, and really walk you through one-on-one anything that you need to see.
Very good. All right, Ryan. Well, thank you very much. This was a great presentation, and I think everyone that's been watching this presentation is looking forward to getting started.
All right. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.